Yo, sinners, sup with it. By now we all know the fate of the Titan sub and its 5 occupants. They all perished in the sub due to catastrophic implosion. For most, knowing that they did not suffer a long horrible death bring peace to their minds. And indeed, their deaths were swift, so swift that their brains could not process the fact that they had already died. But unfortunately, the moments before their swift deaths occurred was filled with horrors that cannot be explained. Imagine, if you may, as the craft began its descent into the dark, deep waters, their fears slowly began. The fear of entering the unknown, and also what the unknown has to offer. As they descended further down, it became darker until all lights are gone. All 5 hearts beating at a slightly faster pace than previous. Although trying their best to be brave, their concerns will become greater with each passing minute. As the sub descends into the pitch-dark ocean of vast unknown. Their tensions and concerns continue to grow, and if not visible on the outside, their insides would tell a different story. Time passes, and they adjust and become comfortable in the pressure chamber. Their muscles and heart rates become more relaxed. They now are thinking less about the unknown, as they begin to enjoy the experience of the ride down to visit the Titanic. They converse and enjoy the ride, and overall everything seems to be good as they continue to descend further and further and further. It's a long, slow ride to the bottom, and the crew further makes themselves at home in the cramped space of the pressure chamber as they feel the temperatures change and become colder and colder. A great time has passed, and most likely all fears and apprehensions have subsided. At this point, they're fully relaxed until the final touchdown at their destination point. But within a second, there's a loud cracking sound that cannot be ignored. Their bodies stiffen with fear. There's a great panic within. But they are assured that it's normal and possibly just the craft's chambers flexing a bit under the great pressure of the ocean. Yes, those words bring a certain amount of comfort to the crew, but they're still rigid and fear-stricken. It all is dark, cold, and very quiet. The silence is broken with another loud, cracking sound, causing the craft to shift slightly, and fears heighten greatly. At this point, there are no comforting words to be heard. And even if there were any words of comfort, they might not have heard them uttered, because their ears are focused, attempting to locate the exact source of the loud cracking sound. Without knowing exactly, they knew what those cracking sounds actually meant. There is most likely a quick attempt to ascend the sub and clear it from the external pressure being placed upon the vessel. But the craft is slower to ascend as it was to descend into the dark, cold abyss. Not a word is said, there's great silence. The crew's minds are running amok, filled with terror, horror, regret, and prayers to their God to help them make it to the top safe. The craft lurches and shifts, but this time in an extremely violent manner. and then it begins to stabilize once again. At this point, all are certain that their inevitable end is upon them. There is no hope of reaching the top. Never will they see their loved ones and friends again. Prayers can be heard in their whispers. It is very quiet, dark, and numbingly cold. One last loud cracking sound can be heard emerging from the dark silence. This cracking sound differs from the previous because it started very low and slowly became louder and louder and violent. The final cracking sound was indeed the end. Before the sound was gone, the Titan Sub's crew were no more, and only their final prayers trapped in air bubbles for eternity are left to tell their tale.